people were making a lot of money, and then none of them were looking into the key aspects and then the thing behind this.
Once again, so let's just start it, and I guess we should start. Welcome to BlockTalk Podcast that explores the world of blockchain technology and its endless possibilities. Today, yeah, all right, everyone, welcome. All right, I think we should be up. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BlockTalk Podcast. I am your host, Barry, and today with me I have no other person than Rubiks. Rubiks, I'm super excited to have you on the show today. What's happening, brother?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm also excited to be here.
All right. Today we'll be answering the $1 million question, which is the what and why of tokenomics. I think for me, I would say tokenomics should be like one of the biggest topics around the blockchain space, and it's something to really pay attention to. So before we go deep into it, we'd like to get to know you. Let's get to know a bit about you, what projects you're running, and what you're into, and all that before we dive in deep.
All right, thank you very much for granting me the opportunity. I'm by name Abubakar Olawale, and then I'm being called a tokenomics, or you can say a token economist or engineer in this space.
Okay.
And then we deal with tokenomics design, sustainability, reward mechanism, and every aspect that deals with a token, building a token, and not
Right.
development. We have a difference between developing a token and then building the economy of it around a token. So that is where I deal with. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for giving us that brief about yourself. So I think you're deeply rooted into the field, so you are fit to help us answer this $1 million question, which that everyone is actually anticipating to listen to. So let's get straight to the topic. But before then, I'll quickly like to talk about what we do here as well. BlockTalk Podcast is actually sponsored by a platform called MetaTree Block. And MetaTree Block is a blockchain educational community that focuses on accelerating early adoption of blockchain and Web3 ecosystem, especially in Africa, in quotes. So that's what we do. So basically, let's dive into the $1 million question. If you're still listening, this is BlockTalk with Barry, and today with me, I have no other person than Rubiks. So Rubiks, what would you say to a layman? Let's say, I think these days everyone, it's everywhere you turn to, you tend to find an ad or an advertisement concerning an ICO that's about to launch or has already been launched. And so what really is tokenomics, and why should anyone in the blockchain ecosystem care about it?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. So going into the topic, when we talk about tokenomics, we are talking about the fact that we have a token. We say we have a token everywhere, a digital asset, and then that is being exchanged from between one place and the other. And however, most of the time, in 2020, when we had the surge, that is and everyone was making loads of money in the system, it got to the fact that people were making a lot of money, and then none of them were looking into the key aspect and then the thing behind this thing that would make the token go well in the long run, which is what happened to majority of projects in this year 2022. That's caused for a lot of crash in many projects because there was no plans for the long run sustainability. So, which is why the topic tokenomics has been going viral at this period, or the token economy. You understand? So, talking about tokenomics, we are looking at the sustainability, the economy around the sustainability of a token. And when we say to sustainability, we are looking into the long-term vision of a token. That is, what would allow this token maintain its structure no matter what economic shock happens. You are dealing with the demand and the supply aspect of a token. Okay, what makes a token fall? What makes a token rise? And if you are looking at what makes a token fall and rise, what are the things that would mitigate the shocks that befall the token at any point in time? So that is what the tokenomics and the token economy looks at in general. Thank you.
Oh, awesome, bro. I would say a big part of the crypto project's success is dependent on, or is attributed to tokenomics from all you've said.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Let's say from a layman's perspective, let's say I'm just coming into the the Web3 space or the blockchain space, and I stumble on the word tokenomics. I think one of the reasons why most people, especially young people, don't really go into this space, the Web3 or blockchain ecosystem, is because of the big words attributed to the space. There's some strange words that a lot of people are not familiarized or are not familiar with. And what we do here, we try to break these things down as simple as possible, right? So let's assume I'm a layman. I don't even have an idea about probably I have an idea of what blockchain is, and I just stumble over the word for the first time, tokenomics. What simple, brief explanation would you give to that?
All right, so I would say tokenomics is the distribution of tokens in a way that would maintain the tokens stable in the long run.
Awesome. I came across an article some weeks back on this topic, and I saw something fascinating. And the first thing I saw was more like token plus economics equals to tokenomics.
Yes.
So it was that simple. It was so catchy, and I fell in love with the idea. And everybody that probably went to high school, something like that, will ride with that because of I think everybody did something like comps and economics. So it's just bringing it into. All right. Basically, thank you so much for that concise explanation, and so far so good. I would like to ask this other question. My second question goes this way. Why should anyone that's interested in the space care about tokenomics?
That's a very big question.
Yeah.
One thing about any project we encounter in the space is that development is one aspect. That is when they develop the project, write the smart contract and everything. So the token is live. But at the end of the day, we need to look at some factors that can allow for the token to fall or rise at any period. There are fundamental factors. And behind this fundamental factor is where tokenomics comes in. Because any token falling or rising is attributed to demand and supply, which is why when we talked the other time, I said token and economics. So and economics deals majorly with the behavior of a particular scenario. So we are looking at the behavior of the token, the demand and supply of the token. So for that token to have risen or for the token to fall,
Yeah.
what are the reasons behind these things? And which is why we look at tokenomics. It is very, very much necessary to know those things behind a token movement. And when we are looking at the distribution, we are looking at the unlocks. For example, you should know that okay, when unlocks are happening, it is the token price is bound to fall. When this is happening, the token price is bound to rise. When this is happening, the token price is bound to do this. So those are the major reasons to look at the tokenomics, and it is very, very much necessary.
Awesome, bro. Awesome input on that. Um, from all you've said, right? Let's assume I would say there should be some basic factors to be considered when to determine a good tokenomics, right? So could you, from everything you've
Yes,
said,
definitely.
all right. So could you please give us a couple of ideas around determining what a good tokenomics looks like or should look like?
Yeah, yeah. Before I list those factors, I would
Yeah.
like everyone to know something.
All
We
right.
have we've been having confusion around these variables in this field. We have tokenomics, we have token economy or token economics, we have crypto economics, we have token engineering. They are all different words used differently in different what's it called in different aspects. So for example, we said the major one we are doing here, which is tokenomics,
Yeah.
is the aspect of the economics and distribution at the allocation and distribution of tokens. So however, token economics is when we are now looking into, that is where token plus economics comes in. We are looking at the sustainability, the design, we are looking at the factors that brings up a token and then mitigates the pressure coming or the shocks coming over to a token. And then we have token engineering. Token engineering goes with token economics and cryptography. That is, we're looking at the objective and constraints that brings in a token to to life, to whatever it is. Looking at all the um, factors demanding. We are looking at the economic behavior. We are looking at the scientific objectives that could also put the token to limelight. So that is about token engineering. And then the crypto economics is the aspect of crypto and economics. Okay, the crypto space in general, we're looking at the economic behind economic of sustainability in the crypto space as well. So now
Mm-hmm.
looking at tokenomics, I said earlier that tokenomics is the distribution, and allocation, as well as the what's it called, the economy of a token. So that is why the factors we look at when we get to tokenomics aspects, we say we are looking at the demand, we are looking at the supply, we are looking at token distribution, we are looking at token allocation, looking at burning, and then we are looking at emission and unlocks of a token. So those are the major factors that we look at in order to determine a well-structured tokenomics.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Super amazing. Thank you so much for that input. If you're just joining us, this is Block Talk, and I still remain your humble host, Barry, and I have with me in the house answering the $1 million question, the what and why of tokenomics, with no other person than Rubiks. So, Rubiks, let's go down
Rubiks.
to yeah. Rubiks. When I asked you about the name, uh, what should I call you on the chat? I was like, what should I call you? And you're like Rubiks. I was like, okay. I was trying to put an attribute to it, but I was like, let me just shut the whatever. Back to what we're discussing, bro. Um, let's dive in a bit into let's dive deeper into the concept around tokenomics in terms of um core features of tokenomics. I've heard of yields. I've heard about mining and staking. I've heard about token bonds. I've heard about limited versus unlimited supplies, and I think I've also heard about token allocations and vesting periods. So could we just have like a brief summary around those features or core features about tokenomics, real quick?
Yeah. All right. So looking at these features, we are looking at the allocation, we are looking at the distribution, we are looking at the supply,
Yeah.
demand, we are looking at the unlocks and every other feature there. So these features, for example, if we look at the demand, we are looking at the what is it called? We're looking at if the token is an inflationary token or a deflationary token. And when we say token is inflationary, that is inflation. You know, when we say inflation, the what continuous what rise in the what prices of what
Price.
goods
Yeah.
and services. So
Yeah.
we're looking at if the token is inflationary. It has that's where supply comes in. That is, it has a hard cap.
Okay.
So, or a token is inflationary, it has a hard cap, and then it is deflationary when it has no hard cap. So that is, and when I say hard cap, we are talking about the fact that okay, the supply, meaning that a particular supply is attributed to that token. Okay, this token BTC has 51 million total supply, or 21 million total supply rather. ETH has unlimited supply. Solana has this particular number of supply, that is maximum supply. That is what we are looking at, maximum supply. So that is when we are looking if the token is inflationary by default or deflationary by default. So Ethereum, for example, is a deflationary token because Ethereum does not have what's it called? Ethereum is an inflationary token, does not have a hard cap. That is, it does not have a maximum supply. It keeps going and going and going. Ethereum can be minted at any point in time.
Yeah.
That is how Ethereum works. But
Okay.
other tokens, have many of the tokens coming up these days. We have they have a maximum supply because they cannot they are not as solidified as the the development around Ethereum to build to the level they are right now. So they have to put a particular what's it called, a break to whatever they are emitting in the token produced. So that is how it works. So at the same time, we have other features like allocation and distribution. You know, whenever the major understanding of tokenomics around people in the blockchain sector would say, okay, token distribution, we have the team distribution, team allocation, we have the private sale, we have public sale, we have some will add drops, some will add different things like that in the distribution or allocation section of the tokenomics. So that particular aspect is very, very much necessary because if you as a project you are launching and you have your project or this thing having about 40% of the whole token supply, you know, there's something wrong there. Why would you give your 40% when you have not even thought about the fact that okay, what benefits are your community, what incentives are you giving your community as a benefit, and then your what's it called, the reserve of the project itself, what are you having in the reserve in case anything happens in the future. So those things are factors we look at in allocation and decision section. Another one, we are looking at the unlocks and emission. So unlocks, you know, when you distribute, you are distributing towards that, okay, this particular set of people have this particular supply of the token. Investors might be there, other people might be there that okay, at this particular period, these people will be able to unlock a particular percentage of that supply at the end of this period. So if a tokenomics is added and the unlock is set for 3 years, for example, okay, at the end of 3 years, you'll be able to unlock totally all your token that is in our treasury. So that unlock now says a lot of things about the project, the method of looking towards. We are not just looking at unlocks, method of unlock. If, for example, okay, your project is built today and then you have unlocks, so many unlocks within a year, that is because you want to pay back the debts, and as you are unlocking your tokens, people will be selling. As you are unlocking, people will keep selling because larger percentage of the token supply is being unlocked. And as you unlock, as soon as you unlock, they would what? They would sell off their token. And as they are selling their token, it is what? Creating a pressure on the price of the token, meaning that what? The sell is more than the supply, the token supply is what? Becoming larger than what? People, than the rate at which people are demanding for the token. And at the same time, the price will continue to fall. So the price of the token falling would allow for people outside the range as well, that is, people who are not even receiving the unlocks, when they see that price is falling, they take advantage on the centralized exchange. They also keep taking a trade, that is, what do we call it in centralized exchange? They keep selling the token that on the other side, and at the same time, the rate at which the token price will fall will be very high. So the level at which a project arranges its token unlock matters a lot when we are looking at the unlock session of a token distribution. So how it is being unlocked or emitted. So that is one aspect. At the same time, staking is the aspect, is a way to keep the project afloat, because majority of the time we look at